Bright and early Monday morning, heading to Tel Aviv now. Back-to-back meetings all day, including an amazing meeting with Angie Geffen, a friend of mine, one of the top marketers in Israel. Been a very, very long time. Last time we met, she interviewed me. Today, I'll be interviewing her. Here we go. We made it to Tel Aviv bright and early and found parking. It's gonna be a good day. I want to talk about communication, or specifically a pet peeve of mine regarding communication. Someone asked, I think it was on Facebook this morning, about phone calls, and it brought back some bad memories from a couple of days ago when I'm sitting at home. I think it was 9:45 at night watching a movie, and my home phone rings. Yeah, I still have a home phone. Don't go there. Anyway, my home phone rings, and some random stranger introduces himself and says, I know some guy who said I should speak to you because I have many startups that could use your help. I was taken aback, and I said to him, where'd you get my home phone number? And he said, oh, I looked you up online. Well, I have to fix that. It should not be available online for anyone to just call me at night at home. But more importantly, just because you could does not mean you should. And this person thought it was appropriate to not only call me, period, but to call me at home without speaking to me first, emailing me first, messaging me first, setting up a call. And then I thought to myself, I believe there's a shift in the way we communicate, and I wanted to address it a little bit. Phone calls. And I'm not the first to say this. Gary Vaynerchuk said it as well, and many others. You know, it's not a snobby thing that I hate phone calls, and many people today think it's an inefficient way of communicating. It's not a snobby thing. It's not that I'm better than the next person. It's that making a phone call is actually inefficient. If you call me in the middle of the day and I don't have your phone number saved, I don't know who it is. It could be anything. It could be a family emergency. So I kind of feel obligated to pick up the phone. So I have to pick up the phone, and that means I have to stop what I'm doing and I have to talk to you. If you had messaged me, a little context, I would have looked at the message and said, okay, this is less urgent than what I'm doing right now. I would have responded on my time. When you call me, I have to respond on your time. It is ineffective, it is inefficient, and it is inconsiderate, in my opinion, to call someone. Now, I'm not saying, some things can't get done better by voice than by text. It's true. Many things can get done better than texting someone and back and forth and ping pong. Picking up the phone can get things done faster if you coordinate a phone call before, right? So you email the person, you message the person, whatever it is, and you say, let's set up a call. You put it on the calendar, and then you talk. I know that might sound OCD to some people, but maybe it's a generational thing, I don't know. But to me, just picking up the phone and calling someone, unless it's a close friend or family, and to talk business, just literally just picking up the phone and calling someone middle of the day or in the evening without coordinating first seems to me like it's off and just not an effective way of doing things. And let me show you what Gary says.
So, watch this. I'm going to show you something really fascinating. Do me a favor, Web Summit. I want you to stand up if the following statement is true. I know some of you are lazy, but it's good circulation. So if this is true to you, stand up. How many people here now actually get upset when another human being calls them? Stand up. I'm gonna wait. I want everybody, don't sit down yet. I want everybody to look at this. These are human beings, I'm gonna repeat it to everybody. These are human beings that actually get upset when another person calls them. The main way we rolled just 5 or 6 years ago. Let's clap it up for these pioneers. I'll tell you why I'm clapping for that pioneer right there. I'm clapping because what these people have innately felt and understood is the emergence of the most important asset in our new ecosystem, along with the health of our family, money, our religion, and the health, which is time. The reason those people stood up and were mad that somebody called them is because we have technology now that allows us to actually text somebody and I'll call you back on my time, don't call me on your time. Like, literally like, I'll text you back, mom. That kind of And so, we as business people in corporate America need to wrap our head around one very big truth. The day of advertising, stealing somebody's time, is over.
Pardon the profanity, not a big fan of cursing, but I am a big fan of Gary. More importantly though, the concept is very simple. You call me, I need to work on your time, I need to answer you now. Yes, voicemail, all right, 1982 call, they wanted their technology back. No one leaves voicemails, no one checks voicemails. So if you call me, I need to answer. That is inconsiderate of you. Send me a message, I don't care if it's a text, a WhatsApp, an email, and say, listen, I'd love to jump on a call with you. And I'd say, all right, shoot me an email, we'll find time, we'll put it on the calendar and we'll talk. It's not about OCD, it's not about, I'm better than you. It's about being efficient with your time. Message me and I will message you on my time. That is, in my opinion, the way things should be done today. And that's just one of many topics that have been annoying me lately in terms of communication. Another thing is push notifications or lack thereof. People that, send you a message and then you respond and then they disappear for 3 hours because they don't have push notifications enabled. I don't know. To me, that just seems like unprofessional, but that's a topic for another time. In any case, message, text, email, don't call. Here we are at WeWork Israel, Dubnov. I love this place, but there's a great vibe here, right?
Definitely.
Love it here. Okay, so this company that you work at, which we'll talk about in a second, is another company, I talk about this all the time, it's another company that has spent years, head down, executing, didn't raise money for many, many years, and has built a world-class technology. Is that true?
Completely true.
All right, who are you?
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Ilay, Unger, Zakon.
Wait, I have to interrupt you, by the way. Let me just, in advance, apologize for interrupting you because I'm ADD. But Ilay is one of those names that, sometimes it's men, sometimes it's women. And so I literally, almost till we met, thought that I was about to meet a man.
Happens all the time.
Yeah, and so like Lior at Mangrove, same story. I thought she was a man for months till we met. And I was like, oh God, you're a woman. And like also Effie from Sound Ventures, Efrat, her name's Efrat, but she goes by Effie. And I thought, we were emailing back and forth for months and I thought she was a man. Then we met and I was like, oh my God. Totally side point. Okay, yes.
Does it ever happen with Hillel?
Yeah, actually, Hillel is also Hebrew. In Hebrew, it's a woman's name very rarely, but most people assume it's a man. It's mostly a man, sometimes women. Okay, so yes, who are you?
So I'm Ilay Unger Zakon. I'm Optimove's Director of Strategic Partnerships, and I'm very happy to be here with you and to be on the vlog. So I'm an industrial engineer from Tel Aviv University, same as our founder and CEO, Pini Ekwel.
Who, by the way, we've established that I know for years, and we haven't figured out how we know each other, but we definitely know. I have like 1,000 emails from him. We've been talking for years. We haven't figured out how we know each other, but we'll figure it out. We'll get to the bottom of this.
We'll get there, for sure.
A mystery. Okay.
For sure. So my story really just in a nutshell, I started at Perion, which is a very, very cool Israeli internet company. Then I moved on to...
by the way, a public Israeli company, and who I'm meeting the VP Marketing in 4 minutes of. And Joseph Mandelam's a childhood friend of mine, who was the CEO of the company. Perion's a super cool company. Go on.
Crazy coincidence.
Sorry, by the way, my ADD is out of control.
I'm with you, I'm the same.
Go on, yeah.
So then I moved from there to 888 Holdings. I was a project manager there. Moved on to Microsoft.
Wait.
And then...
Are you gonna hate me after I keep interrupting?
No, I will just...
I just want to point out, I just love how the Israeli ecosystem works. Like, you're talking about Perion, I'm like, oh, Joseph's my boy, I'm meeting Angie right now, who's the VP, and then you're telling me about 888, and I'm like showing you my inbox. The last email that I got was from Gigi, who was the CEO of 888. Like, this is a tiny little ecosystem, with all due respect to Startup Nation and all the hype and all the buzz. It's like one big, not even big, one small family.
Crazy.
It really is, right? It's amazing.
It is.
Okay, so after 888,
so from there I moved to Microsoft and then landed at Optimove, which is the best company in the world, really.
What is Optimove?
So Optimove is a scientific customer engagement platform. We help brands communicate in an emotionally intelligent manner with their customers, and by doing that we help them grow.
Okay, so I love this, and I'll tell you why I love this. I always talk about, customer acquisition and how we've basically cracked that. You got Facebook, you got PPC. There are ways to acquire customers. What we have not cracked yet is customer retention. And that's becoming increasingly difficult. Why? Because we're all ADD, right? Here, a number that I once heard, we know the numbers for clicking on ads for an app, right? If I see an ad for an app, 0.00001% are gonna click on that ad. Forget that number. The number of the people that are on the App Store, they already expressed intent to download your app, they're on the App Store. The number of the people that actually download that app is like 1%. Why? Because their friend's cat picture popped up in their Facebook feed and they're ADD. You just jump out of there. So retention's a really difficult challenge to crack and to solve. And so I always talk about the solution from the branding perspective, and that is that if you elevate your brand through content, through thought leadership, through just awareness, right? If I follow you on Twitter and I engage with you and I listen to you, then when I come across that ad, I'm like, oh, I know those guys. I've been reading their blog for 6 months. It's a different ballgame. So I do that on the I'd say the more qualitative side. You're talking on the more scientific and quantitative side. Tell me more about that.
Exactly, and I couldn't agree more. You just took the words out of my mouth. We always speak about how investing only in acquisition marketing, it's kind of like a leaking bucket. So we're spending more and more money.
I like that.
You can use that.
I'm
Go
using
ahead.
that. You can use my candle thing.
Will do.
You're swapping out a
Reciprocity.
I like it.
Yeah, so we're all about helping brands grow through their existing customer base by communicating with them better, by really understanding their needs, their wants, their history, their transactions, everything that they did when they communicated with your brand at each point at their life cycle stages. So
amazing.
It's all about understanding the customers, making the data insights actionable and accessible, and by that, growing the customer base from a very, very deep basis.
So you guys, I mean, you have a whole bunch of competitors on each one of those three things that you just described, but there's as far as I know, there's not one company that does that entire life cycle that you guys do, which is super interesting, which perhaps is the reason that you guys raised $20 million from one of the top investors in Israel. Not just one of the top investors in Israel, but sort of a legend in the tech ecosystem here in Israel, Moshe Lichtman, who started Microsoft Israel, the founder of Microsoft Israel. He invested $20 million in this company. By the way, his daughter, Gili Lichtman, does marketing at Fairfly, another super hot company in Israel. I guess they have something good in their cereal in the morning in that family. I don't know. But anyway, Moshe Lichtman, he's an amazing guy. If he, gave his vote of confidence for this company, then enough said. I don't even care what you do. You're doing something right. so super duper impressed. And so you lead strategic partnerships there, right?
That's correct. And by the way, you mentioned Moshe Lichtman and IGP, so I would just tell you that they actually invested $20 million in Optimove last September. So we're bootstrapped since the beginning.
How many
2009.
customers?
We've got already 260 customers worldwide, across US, Europe, rest of the world.
That's incredible. I mean, so it's like you're a global company. You might be Israeli in terms of the founding, but global audience completely.
Correct.
What kind of companies are you targeting?
So we're actually serving mainly three industries. First is the e-commerce space. So we've got very, very cool leading brands in that world doing amazing stuff. For example, Freshly, Happy Socks, Stitch Fix.
You had me at Happy Socks, by the way. Check out my socks today. My Envision socks.
This is almost Happy Socks. It's a competitor, but we'll manage that.
I'm not sure. I think Happy Socks actually makes these. They just branded them, but it's become a thing. I've been starting to show my socks on the vlog. I don't know. Okay, so listen. It's just I totally get it. It's such a needed solution, and it's only becoming more important as opposed to many other companies that maybe their market's going down. You guys are going up, obviously. So real quick, give me your kind of elevator pitch in terms of the kind of people that you want reaching out to you. Who are some kind of potential? If someone's seeing this, who should be reaching out to you, and how do they reach out to you?
So I'm so glad that you asked that question, Hillel, and I'll tell you why. We just realized lately that our strength is really with smart marketing teams.
Okay.
So if you're a marketer and you're smart and you're looking for ways to really drive personalized marketing in a very kind of analytical way, Optimove is the tool for you. We will surface all of the insights that you need in order to become successful and make everything actionable. So everything is very, very data-driven. Everything is really scientific.
Love it.
And then it's just, helping you grow using this data.
In case all of that wasn't awesome enough, you worked with Israel Blechman at Microsoft, who I love. He was on the vlog a couple of weeks ago. Love that guy. Love what he's doing now. Love what he's done in the past. So I just think you're super impressive. I think what you're doing now is super impressive. The company's super impressive, and I'm very happy we got to meet. How do people contact you?
So, Ilay_u, so ILAY_u at Optimove.com. Optimove is just as you hear it, OPTIMOVE.com.
Beautiful. So Ilay, ILAY_u at Optimove.com. All right, so if you're a company that thinks you can get value from Optimove and maybe want to talk to Ilay about some customer retention stuff or whatever it is, reach out. I hope you don't get bombarded, but I'll
take the risk.
Good luck, and again, as I said, I'd love to help in any way. I think it's amazing what you're doing, and I think every company out there, pretty much, really, almost every company out there that I know of needs your services. So that's super cool. And now I'm gonna make the most epic intro ever because my next meeting is with Angie, who worked at Perion, and you guys don't even know each other. So I'm gonna turn this off. See you guys later. So I'm sitting here with Eva Longoria.
Everyone does that to me. People leave pictures of her on my desk.
You look like her.
Joking around. My team sent me
It's
pictures.
a very big compliment.
Thank you.
This is a big compliment.
We're exactly
So
the same
you're not-
size proportions too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, same birth date. It's crazy.
Really?
Yes.
You have the same birthday?
Yes.
That's so random.
It's crazy.
Okay, who are you?
I'm Angie Geffen.
Angie Geffen, the one and only. So we've known each other now for how many years?
It's been about.
I just want to point something out, actually. I want to give you, there's a word in Hebrew called firgun, which is...
How do you translate that?
You cannot translate to English.
We looked for it ages.
It means,
I guess firgun means giving without expectation to give back.
but specifically verbally, like to give someone credit where credit is due kind of thing. I don't know. Anyway, I just want to give you firgun because we met, you interviewed me on, I think it was a podcast, right? Or something like that. And we started talking about audio, and then out of the blue, you just one day I get a package to my house, you sent me this high-end microphone. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
It's so nice of you. Anyway, truth is, I rarely use it because it's a problem with the integrations with iOS. Don't ask, but I have used it, and I still till today really appreciate that. That was a really nice gesture of you.
Thank you.
Okay, so how long do we know each other?
Oh, it's been about 4 years, I think.
How did we originally meet?
We met through Joseph Mendelbaum.
So interestingly enough, total coincidence and completely unplanned. The previous woman that I was meeting with worked at Perion also. And
isn't that crazy?
Joseph Mendelbaum and I go way, way, way back. So he said to you that you should meet me. And
yes.
He was right because great synergy, right?
Absolutely.
I think we're in cahoots.
Yes.
All right. So I should say
a male
like this.
version and a female version. The same thought process.
Completely agree. So I'll tell you the thing. Israeli culture is very unique in that we're very, very good at running forward, and that's true in innovation. It's true in general in life.
Yes.
Running forward and not letting people into our lane, and I say that figuratively and literally. And I don't know if you've driven on Israeli roads, you know that not many people are happy to let you into their lane.
Mario Andretti.
Right. But the thing is, with marketing, you need to let people into your lane. You need to be subtle. You need to be relaxed. You need to think long term. You need to plant the seeds that you'll reap the fruit later on. And
yes.
I think as a whole, and I'm generalizing because there are some great marketers in this country, as a whole, Israelis are very, very, very good at building technology, maybe even somewhat good at sales. When it comes to marketing, I'd say it's one of the weaker links in this country. And there are not many world-class marketers that can really build a strategy and execute on that strategy and build a world-class brand and awareness and all the things that executing marketing entails. Not many like that. You're one of them.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So give me your background. Start from the beginning.
Very beginning, from New York City.
Very
back.
Yeah, New York City. Yeah, what'd you do in New York City? What'd you do in New York City?
Oh, New York City, obviously born and raised in New York City, worked in America for many years.
You don't look like you look Israeli.
That's my biggest fault, because when I open my mouth and I speak Hebrew, I have a fairly Israeli accent, but the mistakes of in between put me in this category of not the most intelligent woman in the world, and so I just switched to English. But the looks can be deceiving, that's for sure.
You're completely American, no Israeli background.
Very little.
But you also, Geffen's also a very Israeli name.
Yeah, because it's a chosen name. We chose the name.
Your family's not originally Middle Eastern?
No,
wow.
I'm Urbach. My last name is Averbach.
I did not know that.
Yes, totally Ashkenaz.
That's so
it's
weird.
crazy.
Okay. So from New York, what'd you do professionally in New York?
Professionally, I was so lucky to work for Silicon Valley just in the very beginnings of when it started in the late 90s. I literally worked in Silicon Valley, and I worked on the West Coast to see this whole dot-com bubble explode. And then ever so gently, I went through New York and migrated to Israel because that's where the demand was for good marketing people from the States.
We're getting ahead of ourselves here. Where did you work? What companies did you work at?
I worked for Wind River, and I worked for Formula Vision, and I worked for, I always forget, Bank of America.
Small.
And tiny little.
Yeah, Bank of America.
Only 220,000 employees.
Right.
Really.
So what'd you do there?
New York Stock Exchange, I worked for ICE.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a $24 billion company.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so you came to Israel, and
I came to Israel.
You're doing your thing in marketing here
Yes.
in this world. And let's talk a little bit about that, because I just feel like, with all due respect, and I don't say that cynically or sarcastically, there's a lot of respect for what Israel's built. By the way, this month, I don't know if you saw this month, literally just this month, last 30 days, Israeli companies have raised, well, it depends how you define Israeli companies, but if you're speaking pretty broadly about Israeli companies, whether it's Israeli founders or they have Israeli headquarters or anything like that, Israeli companies have raised $5 billion.
That's so respectful. You see, this is Silicon Valley. I mean, people really have to learn from what's going on here. They're fearless.
Yes.
They are energetic. They have a goal, and they don't let anyone stop them on the way, no matter what.
Right.
And it's very impressive to see.
And we have all the excuses in the book. If we wanted to make excuses, be like, listen, it's an unstable region.
Yeah,
we're security, and then we go ahead and be it's crazy.
So I think marketing, if people understand that marketing is absolutely connected to the business and it affects the bottom line, then you have a whole different different perspective of what's going on. Yes, it's important to have strong branding, and Americans know a lot about branding and how it could affect the perception of a brand and perception of a product. Even if the product is weak, then the brand is strong. That's exactly. I met the head of marketing of Red Bull just a couple of months ago.
Hats off to him, because for her, I mean, that's because the product is, I don't think many people would say it's a quality product, but their brand is probably the strongest in the world. And by the way, if you go to redbull.com, there's one word missing: beverage. They don't sell you a drink, they sell you experiences and content, jumping out of planes. Anyway.
So but then you go into the bottom line and see how marketing dollars are spent for the bottom line. If you're focused completely on exactly what affects the bottom line and how the sales team and the product teams understand the innovations coming into the world and the salespeople bringing out to the market, and you make that connection between product and sales, then you really are an asset to the company. And that's where I focus.
Love that.
You need to focus where you can put all the pieces together, because for some reason, marketing people have this natural ability to oversee technology and sales and put them together. If you disconnect yourself from product and disconnect yourself from what goes on in the field, then you're not a marketer.
It's interesting.
Yes.
I feel like that's, I would say 99% of marketers that I know don't view it that way. I think that it's completely true. You're saying that this is not four organisms working separately. This is like one organism working together. And
absolutely.
I completely agree with that. How do we make Israel a marketing nation?
I think we have to change the word marketing to something else, because Israelis sometimes get stuck with this one word. They define it and they package it, and it's there for the rest of your life. And if
coin something, give me a better term.
Something like more in the world of business development, more into the world of market penetration, more into the world of product and marketing. Product marketing is something fairly new in Israel, maybe for the past decade at the most. But I'm responsible for product. Actually, what are we going to bring out to the market, and why is that? Because if I have nothing to sell, if I have nothing to give to the sales team, then what marketing am I going to do?
Love it.
Need to be connected to the product. Don't be afraid of the technology. It's your best friend, not your enemy.
That's awesome.
A lot of marketers are afraid of technology. A lot are afraid of reports. They're afraid of measurable marketing.
I told you, she's a sharp cookie. I definitely, again, do respect what we've built. I think in order to build sustainable, world-class, global unicorns, billion-dollar companies, the Facebooks of the world, and marketing, has to up its game in this country.
Absolutely.
And
Stop putting out the fires and start thinking strategically. Own what you're offering, own what you're giving, and believe in what you're doing, whatever it is.
Think long-term.
Yes, absolutely. And long-term doesn't have to be 100 years. It can also be a year and a half to 18 months. Just give me 18 months.
Must say, for Eva Longoria, you're pretty darn impressive.
Eva Longoria.
Thank you for that interview. That is awesome. And startup people, listen to her. She knows what she's talking about. Thank you.
Peace out.
So far, today's meetings have been ridiculous. I hope you've enjoyed those interviews. Now I'm going to have lunch with someone who I think is probably the smartest, or one of the smartest people that I know. We got MIT in there, we got Harvard in there, we got outer space in there. I kid you not. Hopefully I'll be able to get her on camera. She's kind of a remarkable human being. Stay tuned for that. Heading to Mitos now, my favorite restaurants in Tel Aviv.
מה העניינים? מגניב.
The one and only Anati, who manages this place. Take two. I just spent the last 5 minutes talking to this remarkable woman here, and the mic wasn't on, so we're starting again. I was saying I meet a lot of entrepreneurs. I meet a lot of passionate entrepreneurs, remarkable people, just people that are doing incredible things to make the world a better place. With full confidence and with absolute seriousness, I can say right now, I've never met anyone as remarkable as this woman sitting here. And honestly, like, we've been sitting for the last hour, I basically just shut up and listened. Like, she's like, so what do you do? I'm like, I don't want to talk about me. I want to hear more about you. Like, what I do now seems completely dull and boring. Who are you?
Hi, I'm Helen Wexler, and I'm working on developing technology to 3D print houses on Mars for the NASA Centennial Challenge.
Okay, so yeah, you didn't mishear her. That is what she's doing. She's building technology to 3D print houses. Like, stop there. That's already magnificent and remarkable and unbelievable on Mars. Like, okay, so why?
It's really expensive to send materials to Mars. It costs $2.78 million per kilo, and so you don't want to be shipping construction materials to Mars. You want to be using local materials, so basically Mars dust as your main construction component.
So you're taking Mars dust and you're building homes on Mars.
Yeah.
That's what
I mean, we're 3D printing. It could also be used for printing critical infrastructure, like and paving roads and radiation protection, stuff like that. But
okay, so in order for you to do this and to build this, this venture and to focus on this, you had to make some critical decisions in your life.
Yeah.
That's an understatement. And you turned down or you pushed off your potential studies in three, but in two specific big names that offered you scholarship in one case and just accepted you into their institution, Harvard and MIT. And you literally turned down Harvard and MIT for now. You might, go back in the future in order to focus on 3D printing houses on Mars.
Yeah.
Was that true?
It was a really hard decision.
I'd say so.
Yeah, but I was just this summer at the International Space University, and I was so inspired being there. And we moved forward to the next phase of the NASA competition, and I just feel that that's what I need to be doing these days.
How many companies entered that competition?
We started out 160 companies 2 years ago, 3 years ago. We're down to around 6 companies now participating.
And who are some of your competition?
So the person who's really leading the pack these days is Norman Foster, Pritzker Prize winning architect.
Okay, and he's your biggest competition?
Yeah.
I don't even know where to start with you. I'm telling you, I spent the last hour listening to her story, and it's like, do you have backers? Do you have millions of dollars of, how are you doing this research? Like, what resources are you using?
No, we're really creative with using resources. We leverage, we call in favors. We're fortunate that a lot of people believe in us and support us. We borrowed a $100,000 robot and
Listen to this story. Listen to this story.
So when we had no budget and we had to 3D print the first specimen, just a small little cylinder, we zero budget, not even $1,000. We had no budget. The registration fee for the competition, there was an investor who literally put it on his personal credit card. I showed up to his office and he's like, yeah, what's the URL? Thanks, Isaac, you're great. Then we had no budget, so I borrowed a robot. So we were printing in a showroom for robots. We were using the showroom robot together with a pasta machine, which we borrowed from the Bloomfield Science Museum, and chemicals that we took from the Hebrew University, and we were just there printing, doing our thing. That was insane.
All right, what's your background on a personal level? Where do you grow up? Where are you from? What's your deal?
So I was born in upstate New York. My family moved to Israel when I was 10, so I grew up here. My parents moved back to the States 6 years ago, and I stayed here. I was a fitness instructor in the Army, and then studied architecture, and then worked in venture capital and economic development.
And you're under 30 years old. We're not going to say your age, but you're under 30 years old. Is that okay to say that?
Yeah, that's okay.
Dude, how? I wasn't kidding. I've met a lot of remarkable people, but this is something else. You're going to build 3D printed houses on Mars. I don't even know where to start.
Well, our MVP is going to be on the moon, probably, because because it only costs $100,000 per kilo to send stuff there, maybe even less. And the European Space Agency is actively investing and developing that field these days.
How long before you're in space?
15 years.
You'll be in space in 15 years.
I hope so.
How long before you have coffee with Elon Musk?
Probably a year.
All right. You heard it here first, folks. I'm looking forward to hearing about that meeting. Looking forward to hearing about your accomplishments, and don't forget the little people, because I'm just absolutely blown away. I said to her, I usually try to offer help to entrepreneurs, and I don't even know where to start. How can I possibly help you? I don't know. But anyway, just keep doing what you're doing. It's amazing, super duper inspiring, even though I understand maybe 4% of what you told me.
You understood everything.
Nah, not really, but okay. Anyway, amazing. Just keep it up, and let's eat some chocolate cake. Look at this chocolate cake.
So much.
Oh my goodness. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, as days go, today was pretty epic. Wow, what a bunch of meetings, what a bunch of interviews. Tomorrow, heading to Prove, like every Tuesday. And I have some pretty spontaneous meetings set up in the morning. Tomorrow's gonna be pretty great. See you then.